Good morning. My name is Ray Williamson. I am a product manager here at Doxim, and thank you very much for joining me. We are actually really excited to be bringing you a refresh or a creative refresh of our, what you know as our EDMS platform. The purpose of this meeting is to let you know what is coming, how it'll affect you, quick demo, and then give you an opportunity to start preparing yourselves for some change. So first thing I'd like to jump into this slide. So when looking at upgrading our software that you use for critical operational perspectives, we made the conscious decision to do a feature for feature upgrade so that it is functionally identical to what you're used to, so you don't have to change your business processes. The user acceptance that we're doing internally is a feature for feature comparison, and it's probably taking us a little longer than rolling out new software, specifically because we want to make sure that when we do roll out the application, it is just a new location for a button and possibly a new user experience or a new UI, but the function will work the same. The purpose of this is that this is a platform for rapid adaptation of new features. So what you're seeing is the first iteration of what's going to be called the Doxim Customer Communication Management Platform. We are going to be taking our various applications and adding them to this application as it goes forward. We're also adding to this application the ability for you to use this portal that I'm going to show you to connect to some of your other existing applications. So why are we doing this? So the first and foremost reason that we want to do it is that we need to ensure that our platform represents the most current technology. That is our obligation to you as our customers, to make sure that we're providing you value, that our software meets current development technology standards, that we're going to support the newest browsers, that the security features that we may need to apply as the world becomes a meaner and meaner place, it seems almost every day. We need to make sure that our platform can support the most current technology, and that's our promise to you, to keep our technology current. I iterated at this, or I talked about this in the previous slide. It is a platform for future enhancements. So the process that we are going to is a standard platform across Doxim to integrate all of our various services, and we're going to a rapid application development. So the next time there's an upgrade, it might be just a couple of minor features. We're trying to avoid doing these giant grand releases that are, to all of us, somewhat disruptive. This is going to allow us to do quicker, more frequent updates to our platform. The schedule now is going to be 3 times a year. So you're going to start seeing more minor upgrades as we move forward. The third reason is this is a gateway into many of the other solutions that Doxim offers, but to this point, only some of you are, for example, using us for both print and to print your statements and deliver the HTML statements. Only some of you are using our HTML statements and our electronic content management system. Only some of you are using the statements and possibly access to all of our APIs to bundle some of our solutions into your applications. Some of you are using our email marketing solutions. Some of you are using, our SMS gateway solutions. So this allows us to start consolidating all of our solutions and applications to allow you to turn on features that will help you move your business forward. And hopefully we're enabling features that you would otherwise have to get from someone else, get them from Doxim. So what's going on? So the next slide is the timing of this. So this is currently in our user acceptance testing. I was hoping to have a firmer date by the time this meeting happened. We are within a couple of weeks. There are always little things. I think I have to tell you, I'm very pleased with how things are going on, but in our effort or our attempt, our design to make sure our goal is 0 bugs. I guarantee you I'll miss that. Might be 99.999%, or it might be like one little bug, but I'm aiming for 0 bugs. I'm aiming so that when this happens, this is so smooth and so seamless that you'll be nothing but happy. So that's why we're doing all this extensive testing. We're doing cutovers, we're doing mock tests, so we're at that process. So for your benefit, what we're going to do in the next coming of weeks, we will be announcing a date that's saying on this date, this new platform will be rolled out. That will not be in the next 30 days. So this announcement that we're giving to you now is so that you have time to review the manuals and the materials that we sent out for you, that if you have concerns, you can engage with your customer success team. If we need to do a little bit more in-depth conversations, we are available to you. So this is Doxim's new process, that this is a major update. We don't want to surprise you. We basically want to reach out to you now and say, this is coming. We will give you dates very shortly. So probably, and I came up with these slides having been in your desk. And when I get new software foisted on me by Microsoft, like when I reboots and says, oh, by the way, you have a new version of Microsoft Words, what I would like to know before that button happens is how I will be affected. We've all gotten new versions of software, and to me, the biggest frustration I had was that my credentials changed. Let me assure you that the database, or where we're storing all of your information and files and records, that aspect of the application hasn't changed. For most of you, you'll change. However, there is a possibility that we may need to reset your password. There are many older, this application has a lot of legacy, and there may be passwords, there may be configurations, there may be special cases that revolve around the passwords, or interconnections between existing Doxim applications that might require a password reset. That's the only thing we can think of that might change so far. If this is the case, we will make sure that our customer success team or customer support team is available to walk you through that process to make sure everything works. The next question that I would have if I were in your shoes would be, what about my operational processes? We made a conscious decision not to change the operational process. So without exception, all of the methods that you have in place for sharing your files and uploading files to Doxim and how you communicate us, that's not going to change. In the future, there will be changes and enhancements to that process, but at this time for this change, we have left all of the back-end processes the same. So, with all that being said, I'd like to take you through a couple of slides which are going to show how we're going to transition some of the slides. And if we have enough time, I will actually jump into a little bit of a demo. So, any of you logging in will see this screen here. And the first thing I heard when I started on this project was, can I get rid of this forced CAPTCHA on every login? Because apparently it creates a lot of challenges. So what we've done is CAPTCHA is still available, but it's down here in the bottom, and it's only going to pop up if there's a problem. So if there's multiple password change attempts, if you're logging in from an alien location, the CAPTCHA will prompt you. Otherwise, user ID, password, right? Client ID, user ID, password, log in. For those of you who have Active Directory in your organization and want to integrate with us and talked about some sort of a single sign-on, that is now something that is going to be available. That is something you talk to your customer success manager about, and we can talk about how that integration might take place. So many of you are used to a screen like this that looks like your account management screen. When you log into the new admin portal or the new version of this, you will notice that it's called account management, and it's just a new user experience. I'm going to flip back. So this search button here and this search by account is the same functionality as here. We have just laid it over new creative. Pending email e-statement enrollments, pending e-statement enrollment. So your ability to manage the e-statement enrollments, the old screen has a direct correlation to a brand new screen. The pop-ups, we've gone to the three dot format, so you'll manage that process using pop-ups. And this navigation is consistent through the application. So as you're moving through the application, you will notice more consistency from screen to screen as to how things work. Right, add a member. Again, add an account or add a member. It is identical information. We have the 4 tabs across the top. We have the 4 tabs across the top. We have the same fields. Again, all we're trying to do here is bring your user experience into a brand new modern experience so that we can provide to you a platform for moving the application forward. So I'm just going to go through some of these. I'm not going to talk to every one of these. This slide presentation is available, so should you like a copy of this so that you can share it amongst your organizations to go along with the manager, please reach out to your customer service manager, and we can provide you a copy of this presentation. I'm going to just jump through some of these slides. So the job history report that many of you use, the job history report in exact same name, all of the same columns exists. The reporting, right? The list of reports that you can log into has been mapped onto another page with a identical list of reports. If you need to configure, right, the ADMS welcome page or features that are appearing in your consumer-facing portal, or CCC, as we all call it, we are providing, again, the same functionality within the new CCM platform or the new version of EDMS. You may notice that the menu on the left has features that you may not see, for example, print management. This is sort of a sneak, so you won't see it when you log in, but this is a sneak preview of functionality that we currently have under development that is going to come along and be made available to you very quickly as we go through the process. Editing campaigns, we have the ability, same screen, edit campaign. Same descriptors, same menu items, just again, a new user experience. Preview of the banner, the ability to preview the banner that's going to appear on the portal. The ability to add a campaign through the window, again, the ability to add a campaign through the window. The ability to request a campaign or do your testing, again, the ability to request a campaign and do your testing. User management, this is the same roles and permissions that you have for your current staff. The same roles, right? The same user management that will exist in the new application. Again, we've put the functionality to minimize the screen to make it easier to read, the edit and the manage, right? The edit those permissions, So we have our edits and manage permission screen here. And again, we have a screen. We've even used the same iconology and the same member or the same roles and permissions exist. So we have tried to do this as a one-for-one swap. We want this to be a pleasant experience. We want to make sure that there is a minimum amount of retraining. And so the purpose of this presentation is hopefully to take away that fear or that concern that this is going to be a big change. So again, adding a user is going to take place in the exact same method. The eAlert application, this is an application prior to this meeting. I'm actually going to skip over this because the last couple of customers on this application have now been successfully migrated to a new version. So this feature is going away. So just letting you know that the couple of customers that were on this eAlert feature have been migrated to a new version of communication. So this application is going away. File upload, a file upload process that you are comfortable with has been replaced with the same functionality. Again, just new user experience, job name, member statements, add a file, except there's now the ability to drag and drop that file onto that screen. The terms of service, which many of you use to do your registrations. In this case, here's the terms of service screen. And again, we have transferred all of the capabilities feature for feature to this new application or to this new application. This is a new application. It is just we've mapped, tested all of the same functionality. Reminders. Here's the reminder messages. And again, here is your ability to, in the same way, set and manage your reminders. You can edit them. So as we set these reminders, we have the same screen in the new application to allow you to set and manage your reminders. The splash setup. So when you want to configure your splash screen, you would normally go to this screen. In the new application, you will go to the same capabilities in the splash screen, and under the three buttons would be the edit, to edit your splash screen. So if we want to add or edit a splash screen, here now is the ability to add or edit a splash screen. Your banner setup. Here's the current banner setup screen. Here is the future setup screen. And if you'll notice, for the most part, all of the same buttons are there. The edit, delete has been replaced with an edit, delete under the three button construct, the three dot construct. Edit, added a banner, again, edit, added the banner. So again, same WYSIWYG editor. It will pull your existing banners from the database. All of the functionality is the same. Statement configuration, which is for some of you that use, which is the ability to add headers and footers. Again, statement configuration, the ability to add headers and footers and replacers to your application. The email editor, for some of, right, so here is, So here is your email editor. Now, some of you, this is an admin function. So some of you may be aware that last year we migrated your documents into the Doxim ECM. The intention for that was to allow Doxim to consolidate being able to use different data centers to perform, for our clients who want to use our print services and our HTML services and our PDF, like all of our document delivery services. We made a decision to start consolidating all of our documents and records in our document ECM. So for those of you who are administrators, this ECM configuration is how we share, how we configure within our application the views and where the documents are going to be and how they are displayed in the Customer Communication Center. Company management, again, this is an internal application. We do have a couple of resellers, and in those cases, those resellers will use this to add new companies. I'm going to, so that is hopefully, I'm just going to hide that for a second. Hopefully you find that, hopefully you found that helpful. So I am now going to log into EDMS, and this is my least favorite part. So as you can see, here is the EDMS application, and I'm going to jump into the new application and show you in the account management screen. That I didn't have to put the CAPTCHA in. I'm going to do the star search. Without having to actually type the button. One of the enhancements is you don't actually have to hit the edit button. This actually is doing look ahead. So as soon as you start putting information in that box, it will start to look ahead. I'm going to open up this individual. I'm going to look at their information. You can see that this is an easier to read. Oh, Samantha Stanley has raised a hand. How do we want to handle that? You know what, I'm going to have time at the end, Samantha, for questions. So if you could, through the chat window, post your question, I'll try to get to it. And if I can't, we can talk to it afterwards, if that's okay.
Hey Ray, it's Roman here.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
I think Samantha actually posted a question. She's saying she can't see your screen. Although I can see it clearly, but I'm not sure what's happening on her.
Oh, okay. So I can see the screen. If Samantha can't see my screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share and share the screen.
There we go. I think it's good to go.
Can we see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Samantha. I'm going to log out and log back in again. So as you can see, I'm now just going to log in with client ID, username and password. Most of you won't even see this because this will be in your URL. If you wanted to do single sign-on, you would configure it once. You would click on this button, it would be configured, and every time you logged in, it could log you into the application. And where I dropped off was, this is the account management screen. And one of the things I was saying was, this has type ahead. So as you start to type ahead, it's able to look through the list and collect your information, although the star will still give you that information. We can still search on the same functions that we have now. That's going to be enhanced in subsequent versions, but we thought for this purpose, we would just stay exactly where we are. If I need to view this person's information, it is the same information. Account number, is an employee, electronic information. If they have alerts, here's the history, here's the compliance details, so the test. So this would be the documents, and then here's what this person is subscribed to. I can edit this person's documents. Same screens that you're used to: general information, subscriptions and alerts, others, linked accounts. It is the same field information, and the process by which this gets updated does not change. If I need to go to this person's documents, apologize for it being slow. It is our demo system. Let me look at that. So I have another, when I jump into look at document systems, I will show that when I show actually something that's coming up. That worked a moment ago. Let's see, job management. So add an account, pending enrollments, download, print the record. One thing we have added is the ability for you to make this a more concise screen to decide which fields you'd like to display. Job management. Here is the history of jobs. If I needed to upload a file, the job name based on your convention, what is the job run that's going. As you can see all of the testing that we've been doing, all of the various test jobs. And here's where I would just click here to upload a file. If I had a file, I could just drag and drop the file onto this screen. Your job history. This is the same, right? This is a lookout to the job history, and as you can see, extensive testing on all of the jobs that have been uploaded, the ability to grab the delivery report, to get the records loaded report, and the notification sent report are all here under the 3 dots. And then jobs email editor. For the email types, your ability to, if there is an email in there, the same WYSIWYG editor exists to edit the jobs. The reports, it is the same library of reports. You may notice that member has changed to account. So account list, e-statements, last login date report, the click counter report, the job history reports, all of these reports are the same reports that currently exist in your system. Your communication management, which is your banner setup, your campaign management, your email editing, setting up your reminders, managing the statement configuration, the splash setup, the terms of service setup. Those applications are not changing. I'm just going to open one of them. So if I had a banner, I have the ability to edit that banner. So name, login, between dates, when it's going to show. I can upload the file and I can manage the HTML. So this functionality is going to be the same. I'm going to jump into user management and show you that the audit activities report is still right here. I can edit this user of the system, and the same capabilities to add or remove security preferences exist here. As we go forward, there will be new capabilities added. I did want to pause, and basically, hopefully this is going to show you that we've taken a lot of thought in terms of how this would be exposed. I alluded to the fact that there's going to be new capabilities coming, and I'm just going to, for a moment, do a quick sneak preview of things that are on. Yeah, I'll just do this, and then I will. And the first thing I was going to show you is in a version that's coming right after this, you're all of a sudden seeing all these new menus. But the first thing that you're going to see is a dashboard. So after this update and everybody's migrated over and we're happy and the next release comes out, we're building you a dashboard. That is something I've heard, so that you can, from a glance, look at your e-statement enrollments, look at your e-statement deliveries, look at all of your communications sent, and actually look at the history. So you can start looking at trends of your engagement over time. This is something that, these are reports and items that we thought were very important. The other thing that we will be adding very quickly or very shortly after is the ability for you to use this portal to connect to other Doxim applications that you might be using. So some of you use ARB Plus and you use this application. So for example, if you are also an email marketing customer, you can jump from here into our email marketing application. If you are one of our customers who's opted to get the full functionality of our ECM, because some of you have had use cases where you want more than just presenting the documents through the portal, and you want to link out to the ECM and see all of the capabilities of the Doxim ECM for managing your documents, you can link out to our ECM. We've also asked customers, we've also had people ask, can they use this to link out to some of their internal applications? So if you know that you might have one or two processes where the user is using this screen, can I add integrations or can I add links to this screen that will take me to another application? The ability is yes. So if we wanted to add another external application, if you have a tool or a report center or a message center, or even a file uploader that you want to be able to launch from this screen, you have the ability to self-serve, add that configuration, name of the application, the link to it. If it does support single sign-on, you can actually link in single sign-on, and you should be able to support that yourselves. An example might be external correspondence management or an email messaging hub. I might, for a quick demo, let's see. Add an external application. I'm going to skip those. And there's Google. And so what I've done is I have in 2 seconds said, I know I am in this application all the time, and there's 3 or 4 applications that I want to be able to jump back and forth between. As we go forward, we're going to make some of our integrations more transparent or a lot smoother, but a number of customers said, I would like to be able to use this dashboard to connect to some of my other applications. That is a capability that is actually coming, right? So if you jump out to ARB, you could jump out to ARB from here. You could jump out to another application. You could jump out to Google. If you're always in your email, you might want to put a link in here to jump out to the person using it, jump out to their email. So there's a lot of capability that we're building into this application, and our intent is for this to become a hub that you will use to manage all of your communications. At this point, I'm 33 minutes in. That was the end of my presentation. If anybody had any questions, I have a few minutes. If you want to post a question in the chat, I will do my best to answer them.
Hey, Ray. I think we have a question from Amber. She's asking, will anything that is member-facing change, or is it just the ECM for internal consumption?
CCM for internal consumption. That is a great question. So, the current consumer-facing portal, CCC, will not change. However, as we bring this forward, now I wasn't going to bring this up unless somebody said, so you're familiar with this or you single sign on it into your banking application. We do have a new version of CCC that is also being released. It's sort of on request. The difference, and many of you will look at this and see that it is very similar to what you're looking at. The difference between this version and the version that you currently have is that we have made this version ADA compliant. So for those of you who need to have a portal where you can, navigate through it using a keyboard or assistive device, have a screen reader read back the content, this portal, right, this version will support accessibility. It will also support, for those of you who want to generate accessible HTML statements, the ability for us to deliver and present through this portal an accessible statement. Your SSO wouldn't change, your customer login wouldn't change, all of the same functionality would be the same. We have just taken the existing portal and added the ability to support ADA. So that's a great question. But for those of you who are using an existing consumer-facing portal that is integrated in with your core, that will continue. Those endpoints we have not changed. Are there other questions? Well, if that's it, I'm going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes in case you think of a couple of other questions. But I want to thank you for your time. If you think of any questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to Tracy or one of the teams in Herndon, and we will be happy to engage in some one-on-one conversations. We are very excited to this. I think from our perspective, our goal here is to give you a path to help you move your customer experience or your member experience forward. And if anybody is interested in having an accessibility or an accessible statements presentation, again, please reach out to Tracy McNamara. I have a whole 2-hour presentation and demo that I do on accessibility, and I can do that, for anybody who's interested.
Hey, Ray, I think we've got another one coming in terms of questions.
Sure.
So William is asking, basically saying that they're currently using one site to upload documents to CU and another one to view and download. Will that change?
They're using one site to upload documents. So the current operational processes won't change. If there's an ask that we want to migrate that upload into this application, happy to have that conversation, because ideally we do want to have fewer integration points. Making that simpler is something that we have on the roadmap, but it will be done with customer consultation. If that's a conversation that we want to engage in, we can do that now. If you are logging to that external site, my first thought would be that I would put the link up here in the external applications to make that a more seamless transition. But yes, we are aware that there are 2 applications for doing that. We didn't want to change the operational one at this time because, candidly, it's more critical. It is more customized to each organization or each credit union that we deal with, and it's going to be a more thoughtful process. I hope that answers your question. if there's nothing else, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. I'd like to hope that send along a fond wish that I hope everybody is safe, and as we get through this crisis that is affecting all of us socially and economically, that wish everybody the best in health and safety. And on behalf of Doxim, again, I'd like to thank you for your time. If there are any questions, concerns, thoughts, possible deeper dive on any of this functionality, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will can engage with you one-on-one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.